everyone, I'm Waikin with ICA Asia Pacific. Before I start the sessions, I would like to ask you a question. Do you know which city has the longest name in the world? Any ticker? And the answer is the City of Angels, Bangkok. Welcome to ITCMA, Bangkok. It's almost 2 years on when association meeting that everywhere first got disrupted by the pandemic. And today in these sessions, together with me, we have Kun Nichapa, the Senior Vice President from Minds Business, TSAP, and Association CEO and Operation Leader, Bobby Cafty, would share with us their experience from a different perspective on how our associations redesigning the ways they engage with their members, and how has these changes impacted their operations and financial well-being, and what is the impact of a destination, and how industry players or solution provider that will be ready can be ready to meet the new requirement of association meeting. I would like to start with you some statistics. This is the affected numbers of association meeting in 2020. Similar to other region, Asia association in Asia will need also finding ways to continue with their meeting. And the number of affected meetings is about like 1,501 meetings that being impacted. And that's lead to 774,000 delegates in Asia would need to change the mindset and adapt to new experience or to new different meeting format to attend the meeting. And having said that, the current landscape of association meeting or business event, it enables more digital, that allow more digital solutions to continue with the meeting, to continue with the educations, with knowledge exchange, to stay connected, to reach out with more people and building the capacity as well as the legacy. And these slides just want to show you on the different subjects of associations meeting that you will see close to 50% of it are from technology, science, medical, and education. And of course, these are the subject segments, or these are the subjects that fit ICA association meeting criteria, where it rotates to 3 countries and territories and more than 50 delegates. And we believe it is outside the segment, the numbers can be greater. And this leads to the different way of in decision-making timeline. 1/3 of the associations that make decisions quicker than before, the decisions from face-to-face meeting to different format, it takes shorter time and some will be longer time. Say, for example, like in 2020, medical associations take longer time to make decisions to move to different format, whereby science, technology, and educations, the decision-making process are quicker in a way to turn the meeting by using the digital solutions. And what is the impact of the technology? By looking at it, that having said that, in 2020, close to 40% of the meeting has been postponed, and 30% of the meetings that using virtual or hybrid format. And in 2021, associations are more ready to embrace or to make use of the advancement of technology. You will see there's a 15% raise from by having hybrid or virtual event to run the meeting. And here, the impact of technology, you will see that close to 98% that the technology has impacted the way they conducted meeting, and more associations are looking for professional solutions and invest more on the digital solutions to run the meeting. And that's will give us more enable associations to reach out to more delegates. If you're looking at that compares to a face-to-face meeting, by using digital technology, it enables to make more easy access to attend the meeting by using digital or virtual meeting, or using virtual platform or any other virtual digital solutions. It's close to 50% increase of the delegates number attend all the meeting. Having said that, the value of a face-to-face meeting is still there. Delegates or association members still embrace and still keen and want to travel, to have the face-to-face connections, to have the face-to-face networking or discussions when there is a travel restriction lifted, when there is more under control on the more safe and healthy protocol be in place. And we should now be prepared to deal with the unknown environment whereby association meeting would require more support from the solution provider, looking at more flexible contract conditions and looking at safety protocol in place, and in also looking at different integration of technology to support on the online and hybrid events. And that's the top three, where by looking at different ways to support each other, to work with each other, to enhance the delegates' experience in the conference. Having said that, by dealing the unknown situations or the environment right now, we need to continue to be more innovative, to explore more, to be creative, to explore different possibilities, to continue with the knowledge or building up the talents and capacity, reskilling, looking at reinventions of the experience, to enhance delegates' experience, and of course, like in order to build legacy from or by association meeting. And I would like to end here. If you need more information or the statistic, please contact ICA Asia Pacific office. Thank you, and stay tuned with more insights with our speakers. Thank you.
สวัสดีค่ะ Thank you so much for the opportunity to participate in the meeting Interrupted, sharing our thoughts from the Convention Bureau perspective. Although we are still managing the severe impact of COVID-19, the Thai business events industry use our time in reflecting and connecting with our customers and communities. From listening and providing support to our industry colleagues at the start of the pandemic, we are now collaborating with partners to redefine our realities. For example, TCEP established a convention task force committee made up of selected ICA Thailand members and industry thought leaders to build a new capabilities leveraging trends and insights. At the regional level, we work with participating bureau to develop new opportunities to revitalize business events, and still, on the global level, we maintain close connections with industry associations like ICA and a few other associations of similar nature, as well as industry partners, so we are always available to lend a helping hand. Now, TCEP has been investing our resources in every possible way. Slide, please. TCEP has been investing our resources in every possible way. Our focus is consistently on upgrading, upskilling, sorry, Naka. Can I do the retake for the slide?
We'll cut this away.
Okay. TCEP has been investing our resources in every possible way. Our focus is consistently on upskilling and future-shaping innovation in response to the global fourth IR or industrial revolution, which is the digital economy where COVID has forced our entry. In addition, we focus on establishing the groundwork needed for different event formats and developing intellectual capitals in underserviced sectors. We also supported industry partners in digital transformation acceleration by providing the enabling infrastructure and training that hopefully would aid the experience excellence. An example of TCEP's contribution is the virtual meeting space, or what we call VMS, that we launched in April 2020 and is now still in service. It is the one-stop online platform for MICE event organizers to migrate from offline to online and hybrid ones. In addition, VMS also enable event organizers to enhance the digital capabilities from exhibitions to upskilling webinars. The project has served its purposes throughout 2020, and in February this year, TCEP has debuted its first Thailand MICE Virtual Expo, which attracted almost 8,000 online participants from 33 countries and generated over 580 business matching sessions. And I believe that this event gave the international business event communities a timely update on Thailand's MICE market and how industry leaders ensure business continuity. Another example is the MICE Winnovation, which aims to provide MICE entrepreneurs with comprehensive support to achieve excellent, efficient, and effective business operations. The support includes developing innovation and technology applications and platform, and of course, data bank, marketing funds, business matching platform, and of course, education on putting innovation into actual practice. Our partnership with global industry associations like PCAAE and MPI also fulfilled our upskilling talent alignment. As a result, Thailand now has 40 digital event strategists and 23 certified event designers equipped with the latest knowledge. When it comes to destination marketing, in our approach. For example, we knew that the top concerns for event stakeholders at the start of COVID-19 was hygiene and hybrid. And that knowledge gave us the urge to open direct communication channels to organizers and their local partners so that they can have a direct access to the up-to-date information and work with TCEP on creating solutions. What I'm saying is that we have and will always be focusing on human-centric conversations. And those conversations would enable us to develop well-rounded support initiatives, both for short and long term, that can really resonate with the business events community. We are now embracing the COVID way of life, and we have already activated a series of parallel short and mid-term marketing efforts by creating domestic and regional partnerships and events. An example of that effort is the recent formation of Asia Convention Alliance. We are also now moving our destination marketing strategy forward by coupling human-centric focus with sustainability. Although the sustainability conversation was not as vocal over the past 18 months, it remains a vital topic for many people, especially future generations. So much so that we incorporated sustainability impacts as a reward in our support packages. So when it comes to budget planning, COVID-19, I believe, enhanced our budget planning strategy tremendously. We want to continue to optimize the value we bring as a public organizations We also see the need to invest in future-shaping initiatives from upskilling to innovation and strategic partnerships. And I believe that to a certain extent, the international event organizers value the TCEP support packages. We will also continue to allocate a sufficient budget funds for events that would bring various direct impacts to Thailand. And to attract delegates and associations for the remaining of this year and 2022, TCEP has extended our support scheme for associations and PCOs who plan to meet in Thailand. The CONVENE Plus incentive is a newly curated convention supporting scheme that aims to serve global conventions' ever-changing demands and formats. It also takes into consideration of different event formats and the convention bidding process touch points. So the package carries a very dynamic portfolio of service and support with simplified criteria and redefined value propositions. As Thailand is a leader in sustainability, we reward events that could incorporate this impact and those of economic and social. To further encourage the use of technology or digital technology instead of canceling or postponing physical conventions, CONVENE Plus also offers a support booster for conventions that utilize online platforms. It also promotes local businesses and entrepreneurs by offering another booster for conventions that use PCO in Thailand. So there are a lot of boosters here within the CONVENE Plus. Now, part of TCEP's long-term vision is enveloped in our 3-year roadmap, covering this year until 2023. The roadmap outlines a range of action plans, not only to attract more conventions to Thailand and elevate the country's international profile, but more importantly, on how we can transform conventions as activities or events to convention as a legacy. So here's TCEP's long-term vision. The roadmap comprises four key strategies. One is to upgrade Thailand's conventions ecosystem through active lead generation and industry consultation. 2, to upskill the industry with targeted developmental programs. 3, to upstage Thailand in World Conventions arena via international partnerships and global agenda conventions. 4, to uplift international ranking, both for the country and key cities, elevating legacies, of course, and not only legacy, but also positive impact to Thailand. I believe that this roadmap reflects the shift in TCEP's role from an industry supporter to a growth driver. It has also sealed our partnership with Thailand Incentive and Convention Association or TICA to deepen our engagement with the entire convention ecosystem. We believe that our industry will continue to impact lives. We will also continue to thrive now that we know how to apply the art of pivoting during challenging times. I want to encourage everyone to courageously embrace change and proactively innovate so that we can transcend from being just a change agent to truly become a true change leader. ขอบคุณค่ะ
Greetings, everyone. Thanks for joining me in this session. My name is Octavio Bobby Peralta. I'm founder and CEO of the Philippine Council of Associations and Association Executives, or PCAAE. Thanks to ICA, to TTG Asia, and IT and CMA for giving me this opportunity to talk to you today on the topic of Meetings Interrupted, the Association Perspective. This presentation is going to be an overview in the interest of time, but there will be a live panel session to elaborate more on the issues that I'm going to discuss during this presentation. My presentation is based on my experience, my readings, and my interaction with peers, and in no means saying that I'm providing advice or these content are all encompassing and complete. So let's get started. So when the pandemic was declared early last year, many organizations and associations like us were really caught unaware. And there were immediate challenges. I've listed here 4. There could be more, but these were based on my experience, are the 4 challenges we faced. First is communication. Second is member connection and engagement. In-person event postponement, and revenue generation and diversification. So let's discuss this one by one briefly. In terms of communication, the first obvious step for associations was really to source for reliable information, because there was lots of information going around at the time of challenging environment. So because we need to inform right away our members. And of course, we also communicated with the staff, how are they doing, what kind of work structure or arrangement are we going to do because of lockdowns and stay-at-home orders. Of course, connecting, communicating with the board and members, with the event venue and destination for the forthcoming events that you had on plan for the year, and of course also service providers, suppliers, and government authorities, just to make sure that we get updates, as well as if there are support mechanisms that will be available to organizations like associations. In terms of membership connection and engagement, obviously the first step is really to connect with members in many means that we can, like making calls, texting or SMS, email, social media, website, so that we be able to do quick and meaningful services like doing updates, alerts, helpline, wherein members can help each other solve some problems that they may have, or just being there. Just being in the trenches, so to speak, with the members during this challenging environment. In terms of in-person event postponement, first there's a need to notify members, destination, venue, service providers, and suppliers. And at the same time, shifting events to virtual. And so there was immediate and frantic search and selection for technology platforms, especially for video conference platform, and there are lots out there in the market. And then the next question was, can we do it in-house, or do we need to outsource running our virtual events? In terms of program design and development, you can adjust, convert, say, one-day in-person webinar into another one-day virtual event, and that will be, causing screen fatigue for the audience. And then there's a question of, are we catering only for members or non-members, especially that your revenue are declining? And all of a sudden, the whole world became a big one large marketplace. And the question also, are we going to charge a fee, or are we going to give it for free? And all it depends on what your financial capability at the time was. So we'll talk more on this on the next slide on revenue. So on revenue generation, I can say that across association there was a decline from anywhere from 50% to 70% of the revenues, and most of these revenues decline came from membership dues, from conference and training registration fees, which are big generators of revenue, sponsorship, grants and donation. And so how do you source revenues? So it's good that some associations have a healthy reserve fund. Others did not have, some minimal. So another question would be on, are we going to defer dues when it's everybody, members are sort of suffering, quote unquote? Are we going to do it installment or maybe discounted? And then, of course, there's this revenue generation for non-use, and anywhere from selling e-publication, e-learning content, website ads, and others. And of course, also looking at the revenue on the sponsorship side, reviewing the existing membership packages, and looking for new sponsors, because even during the pandemic, there are other industries that are thriving, like health, logistics, and technology. So this could be sponsors, potential sponsors for the association. So in general, the response to the pandemic, I would say, really is, I call as the 4 Ps. So we'll again cover this one by one, but the first P would be pivot to digital, partnership, collaboration, people focus, and plan for recovery. So we'll discuss this one by one. In terms of pivot to digital, there are two aspects to this. One is the external aspect for members. So organizing online board meetings, staff meetings, and annual general meetings, webinars, virtual conferences, exhibition, e-networking, e-publication. So these are really more transforming your in-person activities into digital formats. And on the internal side, to improve operations and for associations becoming nimble. So there was also transformation in terms of search for technology platform or video conference platform, CRM system, AMS, association management system. There could be more. So what happened during the pandemic was that the digital transformation that has been at the back burner pre-COVID is now front and center during the pandemic. So there was really a pivot or shift to being more digital. In terms of partnership and collaboration, again, two aspects. One, partnering with others in delivering member services, and the other one is partnering with others in terms of generating non-dues revenues. In terms of delivering member services, so many associations are helping each other. So they partner with members in say, for example, in supporting virtual events, webinars, and content delivery with other associations, both local and international, with the academia, foundations, consulting firms that provide resources in terms of speakers and content. In terms of generating non-revenues, the partnership will be more long-term than one-off. For example, with donors, sponsors, and advertisers. In terms of sponsors, more and more, these are not one-off sponsorship, like just event sponsorship, but more on a, say, 1 year partnership with sponsors. In terms of people focus, there was a need for associations to build their skill set, upskilling or reskilling. For example, in the use of video conferencing, cloud-based CRM, other technologies, training on creativity, critical thinking, and cognitive flexibility, use of digital publishing software. So these are all the staff training for developing skills. And not to forget health and wellness in terms of mental health and safety and wellness. In terms of planning for recovery, there were lots of board consultations, discussion, use of data analytics, member survey, market research, focus group discussions, scenario setting using, for example, the PESEL framework, PESEL for political, economic, social, technology, legal, and environment. Doing environmental scanning, what's available out there, what's the competition like, and doing short-term plans and sprint strategy sessions, because really you cannot really plan as before 3 to 5 years because of the volatility of the situation. So in terms of event design and delivery format options, so these are the 4 that we were seeing that associations are using. First one is purely virtual, and this is more synchronous, meaning it's a simultaneous engagement with the speaker or the audience. The other one is asynchronous, which is not simultaneous, mostly pre-recorded videos and then blended with live discussion on a later date. And of course, hybrid. There are single hub or multi-hub hybrid 2 in one event. There's a virtual component and there's also a in-person component. And of course, the traditional in-person. Hopefully, that's coming up. And there are already associations in Europe, in North America, are doing in-person events. In terms of considerations in destination selection, and these are the things that what we're hearing from associations. So in general, provides solutions. It could be as simple as helping in marketing attendees, or inviting a VIP to grace the occasion, or other small services and solutions that can be provided. The other one that creates money can buy experience, and this is now happening because more and more associations are looking for experiences, maybe off the beaten path, adventures, nature trails, etc., to come up to be combined with the event. Those that offer legacy opportunities like interaction with the local community, transfer of knowledge or technology, maybe a green project that is continuing, and of course provides health and safety standards are the consideration for destination. Now, for the consideration for venue selection, we are seeing at least 5 of them here. Cost and profitability aspects. Of course, there's a discussion between the venue and the association organizer in these types of aspects. And we will, as I said, discuss this more in detail in the panel discussion. Flexible contract and terms and conditions, and this is what we hear most of the time about venues being more flexible. Location, because of the restricted mobility and travel time consideration, location would be good. Technology infrastructure availability, and because of these virtual events and so on, there's a need for virtual infrastructure. And of course, COVID-safe facilities, at least during the time of the pandemic. Going forward, these are what we're seeing in terms of association member expectations. So one is more impactful and experiential events. And I repeat this because of many people are looking for experience. More opportunities for engagement and networking. And this is very important, especially in association communities. And more showcasing of content and solutions. So I'll end up with my presentation with with a quote from Gihan Pereira, futurist thought leader based in Australia. Quote, and I quote, he said, it's disruption when it happens to you, and it's innovation when you do it yourself. So I'll end this presentation with some positive news, good news, that despite this pandemic, the associations to a large extent have been adaptable and resilient by constantly engaging with members, with staff, with stakeholders, continuously finding ways to be more efficient and to be a solutions provider, doing tweaks and innovating, no matter how small or incremental, as long as they are relevant and meaningful for their members. And finally, sticking to their purpose, cause, and mission. So thank you very much for listening.